On this episode, Jaslyn Ng stopped by. Hello everyone, this is Jaslyn and you're watching the Advisor of Advisors show. Hey everyone, this is Jaslyn and you're watching episode 10 of the Advisor of Advisors show. And today we have Jaslyn Ng with us.
Hello everyone.
Before we give the stage to Jaslyn, allow me to tee her up, okay? Allow me to introduce you.
Sure.
And then we'll go into your backstory because I'm really very curious about your backstory. I think everyone watching here is very curious about why Jaslyn gave up her $250,000 role as a global HR director before entering into financial planning industry in 2017, July 2017. All right, so that is one big question mark that I have on my head because, hey, $250,000, not small amount of money, right? And not many people can earn that kind of income. And when you are in that position, I'm going to assume that you are comfortable,
Right.
correct? Yeah, you're comfortable, you know, you have connections in whatever you do already, high-level connections. And so there is very, I would say you're deep-rooted. You could be deep-rooted in whatever you're doing. And so that leaves me a lot of question marks on why you even want to uproot yourself and start all over again in a new industry. So that's one question mark that I think many people want to know. But we will get to there. Okay, don't worry. Okay, but ever since she started financial planning in July 2017, she's making waves and splashes. I'm not over exaggerating. Waves and splashes. Okay, let me tell you why. Okay, in that 6 years that she has been in the industry, today at this time of filming is 2023 March. She has achieved 2 MDRTs, 3 COTs, and 1 TOT last year. Congratulations on the TOT last year, man, Jaslyn.
Thank you.
And she was the Digital Agent of the Year in 2022. She co-authored this book called Big Deals Book, all right, with a few top producers in the region. Okay, she was an MDRT Day Speaker 2022, and I tell you what, she's also a chartered financial consultant. But that's not something that's amazing because there are many ChFC certified advisors. But she did everything. Okay, wait. A typical advisor would do it within 3 to 5 years. Okay, I did mine in 5 years. Just to let you know, staggered. Yeah, I wasn't, like laser focused in wanting to complete all at once. Okay, 5 years. So I spread it out all the way. In fact, it was the last moment because of the timeline. I rushed myself to complete my 8 at 9, April 8 at 9. So Jaslyn didn't take 5 years, of course. All right, or else I wouldn't make mention. She didn't take 4 years, not 3 years, not 2 years, not 1 year, 7 months. 7 months. 7 months, 9 paper.
Right.
That means one of the months you took 2 papers.
So every month I would take 1 or 2 papers. But module 1, to be honest, module 1 was exempted. So there were like 8 so I took like 8.
So there's still
8
about
in 7
average
months.
1+ per month.
Yeah.
Huh? Hey, and ChFC, you need to write proposals, right?
Right,
Like
yes.
financial report. It's not easy, leh. I tell you, wow, crazy. And then not only that, 7 months to become a chartered financial consultant, but also at the same time, she completed her 1 year high net worth certification by IFPAS. IFPAS, right?
IFPAS, yes.
IFPAS, yes, organized by IFPAS and Kaplan, right? Both in the year of 2023 and also
2022.
managing. Hey, yeah, this year 2022. 2022, but still, what I'm trying to say is within a year, okay, and she manages a team of 5. Out of the team of 5, 3 are MDRTs, and she hit her DOT last year, not to mention, and she's also a mother of 2, a single mother of 2. So, how did you do it, Jaslyn? How do you do it? Wow, that's crazy. I mean, if you put it that way, 真的是 you're a super mom. Superhuman, I would say.
I
Like,
think
how do
all
you do it?
parents are superhumans.
How did you do it?
I think if you really ask me, fundamentally, it boils down to management of our time. I think that's like, okay, bona fide answer seems to be a very diplomatic
是
answer.
这个太 diplomatic 了，
太 diplomatic,
你要 break it down
yes.
for us, man. Like,
So it's okay to speak Singlish, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me yeah. Singlish is fine, right?
yeah,
Okay.
English fine.
So
Mix 一点华文也是 OK.
哇，真的啊 Okay, can. I think then like that we're more comfortable. I think it starts with having an overarching goal. Just like before we started this talk show, I also asked Jala, Jala, I'm also very curious, what was your overarching mission and purpose of running this talk show for the advisors? What is it that you are trying to achieve? And that itself, to me, those kind of questions are always the questions that I ask myself. What is it that fundamentally, as an overview, what do I want to achieve? Short term and long term. So at the end of the day, for last year, I think I managed to squeeze in so many things because I started with the goal set. I know a lot of leaders would say, hey, everything, we must start with goal setting. And sometimes we as advisors, when I was growing in this career, I was like, oh, okay, goal setting, like that, do for the sake of doing. But at the end of the day, I think I benefited the most when it comes to proper goal setting. So I would actually compartmentalize my goals into different pillars of my life that are important to me. For example, I think at the end of the day, I have 6 pillars. One is my family. What do I want to achieve out of my family? I'll start with that. Then I have my health and fitness. I want to make sure that, that's another pillar.
Family,
I have my career.
Career.
Right, career/financial independence.
Yep.
You know, that those two are interlinked. Then I have my mentorship, which means how do I want to mentor and see my team through to their end goals. Meaningful relationships. And at the end of the day, my self-development pillar. So these 6 pillars, out of every pillar, I would have my goals. For example, for family-wise, I actually committed to myself, like I want to bring them, since last year, you know, after COVID, right, we had the revenge, travel revenge and all that. So I wanted to really bring them overseas. So I set a goal of, I think 2 or 3 trips. And I did 4.
Wow.
So
you said COT last year, you hit TOT lah. Is it?
Yes, I didn't set to do a TOT.
What is this?
I didn't set to do a TOT.
You didn't set to do a TOT?
No, a TOT was, I thought about it after I achieved COT in end of August 2022. And I asked myself, with the balance of the last quarter, last few months, should I be pushing myself a bit harder, or I can be very comfortable with a COT, you know, year on year? And I felt that, honestly, it's not progress. I want to see myself growing. But of course, at the end of the day, as parents, and especially for me as a single mother, I also thought about what if I actually work harder and then in the end I compromise time with my kids. So that was always the constant dilemma I had throughout all these years, and that's why I never broke through beyond a COT for the past few years until last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and something I can share, you know, if it helps the advisors out there, if you're a parent like myself and you're constantly worried about, you know, being conflicted between your work and the family, I think one approach I took from one of my mentor, you know, don't mention names, but he would know who is it, that he asked me, why, if your children are the key obstacles that you think is actually, you know, holding you back, why don't you talk to your children? So I talked to my 2 kids respectively. So my daughter, Claire, she was P4 last year. So I asked her, hey Claire, you know, of course, in the children's perspective, they don't understand COT, MDRT, TOT and all that. So I gave her a simple analogy. So I said, hey Claire, you know, mommy, just like you're in school, in the class, mommy has been in the 3rd place for the, 3rd place was MDRT. Mommy has been in the 2nd place in the class COT for the last few years. And do you think mommy can become the top of the class? Then my daughter didn't give me a yes or no. In fact, you know what she asked me? At 10 years old, Claire was 10 last year, she asked me, mommy, can I ask you, what did it take for you to be number 2 in class?
Okay.
Which essentially meant, how many appointments do you have to go?
Okay.
So I said, okay, I had to go.
She asked you back a question
she asked
instead.
Me back. She didn't answer.
So wise. At 10.
Yeah, at 10. Because I think we have very adult conversations. I talk to them like adults.
Okay.
So Claire asked me back, how many appointments do you have to go? I said, 3 or 4 a week. 3 or 4 to do a
3 or 4 a week to do COT.
Channel 2 is not moving.
Oh, channel 2 is not moving. Okay. One of the microphones went out of battery halfway through the filming, so we will make do. This is a microphone on a fork.
Back to the show. So, yeah, Claire honestly asked me, in order for me to do a COT, i.e., you know, 2nd place in school, in the class, how many appointments do I have to go? So I said 3 or 4 appointments. And I think something I can share really openly, I'm a single parent, so the kids are not with me technically 7 days a week. Okay. So we are on a split arrangement and the children know it. So Claire was like, oh, then okay what? Then what does it take for you to do a TOT? And what is a TOT? I say TOT is 2x of COT.
Okay.
So technically, then she said, Mommy, then in the days that I'm not with you, right? Just go for 1 or 2 appointments more a day lor. Then you can hit your TOT, right?
That totally makes sense.
Yeah. And honestly, as an adult, as an advisor, as a leader, I was mind blown. I was mind blown by the fact that she made it so easy and break it down for me to see. You know, sometimes as leaders, we are leaders ourselves, and advisors will ask us, how do you do this? How do you do that? And we do the same thing. It's just that sometimes you are so mired in the situation, you kind of lost, you don't seem to get a grasp of what's happening. But yet, the funny thing is, kids see it so much clearer than us.
And simpler.
And simpler. And she just said it in 2 sentences. Then,
Yep.
Mommy, can. Then I said, okay, the key objection. But what if Mommy, end up overcompensates and spend more time at work and I don't get to spend time with you? Like, weekends, I no longer work, but now Mommy may have to go on appointments on weekends. Then you say, it's okay, what? KJ and I, we can stay at home and do our own things. You just go, lor. So she made it like, okay, then perhaps a lot of things I was overthinking already.
Yep.
Oh, so that first child was solved. Then I came to my second, my boy.
I was just asking you,
yes,
you speak to your boy.
Yeah, I spoke to my boy because Cajun is P3 now. So last year he's P2, which i.e. he is 8. So came to him. I thought it would be as simple as my girl. Hey, Cajun. So same conversation, same context. Then he say, Mommy, I feel that you don't have time for me already. My boy is the very Sinai one. So you want to have a lot of quality time with me. And that's why we go Aikido together on Saturday. So I said, okay, hey, Mommy, so if you don't have time, never mind, you go to third place. You just do third place, can already.
Not second.
Not
third
second.
place.
Don't maintain second, third. So I said, wow, okay, can. So that I also caught off guard. But as parents, we got to think faster than the child, right? So, hey, Cajun, you remember a few months ago, Mommy made a booking at the travel agency for us to go Italy end of the year. And you know how much it costs, right? They saw the number, it's a 5-digit bill, right? Then in that case, maybe I have to cancel the trip because I no longer make that kind of money in order to afford the trip. They look at me, how you want to cancel Italy? Never mind lah, Mommy, you do first place. Never mind, it's okay. You go and work, it's okay. So I think at the end of it, long stories cut short, I think at the end of the day, the conversation, it was a very short conversation, maybe 10-20 minutes, but it made me lighter. Really, I can't figuratively tell you, but I felt that elevated of all the guilt.
Okay.
So from then on,
you got the consent of your kid to
yes,
to work,
and they were the key objections in my mind. But in their perspective, they don't even see it as an objection. So to sum it up, I feel that, and this story, I feel that I can share with advisors because sometimes we overthink. We overthink about what our prospects want or don't want. Sometimes they just gave us maybe a liner, let me think about it. But we ourselves, maybe he's not interested. Maybe I pissed the person off. Maybe I said the wrong thing. Perhaps we have not really answered what they truly want. And sometimes we assume.
Yep.
The worst thing that we as advisors can do is always assume, though it's good to put ourselves in other people's shoes. But having said that, I think it's important for us not to assume but clarify. The moment when we clarify, we start seeing things from their angle and they start telling us what is it that they need. Only then we can solve the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I felt that it was a big learning lesson from my own children.
Yep.
Yeah, though they are not in the business, but I think they have seen me operate in this advisory process and they kind of talk like me also. Like, how many appointments do you need? Just go and do 1 or 2 more a day, can already. Why cannot? Why is it so difficult? They ended up like, okay, I ended up of the conversation, right? Say, okay, thanks Claire, you're my boss. 老板可以我去做工 Yeah, so it happened that way.
Okay. So that helped you to break through from your limiting mindset and allow you to work without that guilty conscience, right? And then for you to go full out. And then you all had a very wonderful Italy trip, right, at the end of the year. Wow, that's amazing. I want to ask you, because I have so many questions to ask you and I want to keep track of the time. Long story short, back to that burning question that many people have, that $250,000, job role that you have, global HR director, why do you give it up and restart all over?
I think Jiale at the start of the show did mention that perhaps I was very deeply seated, very deeply rooted in the comfortable position, very cushy job it seems to be. And for me, I think at the end of the day, a job is not difficult. It's not challenging. What is challenging, honestly, coming from a corporate point of view, the higher we scale, the more politics, right? And you start to have your energy spread across not just work, not the technical part, but the navigation of the underwater current, and that gets people very emotionally distressed and drained. So, in short, right, I think in that 11 years, I had wonderful working experience in corporate HR, as corporate compensation and benefits director, etc. But I think towards the end, what really got me really tired was managing the matrix relationship and the direct boss, etc. So I think it manifested in body symptoms.
Okay.
My asthma relapsed after 20 years.
Okay.
And I had a cyst growing inside me that I only found out just before I quit. And the gynae was saying that let's monitor for a couple of more months. If it grows another, I think 0.5 cm more, you have to go for operation. And all the emotional distress was actually manifesting. It's just that I think my mental power and resilience is stronger than my body. My body, I think, cannot take it anymore. But I just tell myself, it's okay, do it. It cannot be so tough, I'm in a much fortunate position, to be commanding that kind of high salary. But the emotional stress got onto me, in short. And I think the biggest push factor was because Claire had a hole in her heart. And it was diagnosed at about 4 years old. And the plan from the doctor was that she needs to go for an open heart surgery from here all the way to the stomach, cut open, and sew back the hole, mend back the hole when she turns about 7 or 8. And at that point, I was asking myself, if I keep flying like that, I can command that kind of salary, but everything comes with a price. The price was I was taken away from the children every 2 months. I have to fly to US every 2 months. And you are not managing just employees. You are managing your peers who are C-suite people in the boardroom. And I was the youngest in the room. At, I think, 30, 31, I was the youngest to be navigating with them, talking, and had to provide consultancy advice to them. But at the end of the day, I am also a mother. And you try as much as possible to scale, to be a best mother, and to be a good wife, and to be a good employee. But how do you do everything, within one person? I think I am no longer able to do that. So at that point, that's why I decided to explore another option, but I never ever, until today, I still feel it's a bit surreal that I'm in the advisory business because I've never thought of that. Yeah. So and my brother is in the same advisory business for more than 10 over years. So to me, this was something a path that I don't think I'll ever go into. But I think I'm very grateful to my boss, Jaden, who actually opened my mind up, just like what my kids did. Because, as humans, we are sometimes very constricted in the paradigm that we are living in until someone opens the door and let you see a glimpse of the outside world. Then perhaps you thought, maybe that's possible. So that was how I was led into the business by my boss. Yes.
And is that one of the reasons why you took off faster than most people? Not, of course, your resilience and your guts and your courage or your good work ethics that got you to where you were, global HR director. You used it, of course, it was transferable skill set. But at the same time, you also had a network that you can harness when you came into the business. Was that correct? Because you specialize in C-suite, working with C-suite individuals.
I would say yes and no. The network were probably my ex-colleagues who trusted me. Because before I joined this business, I had been working in different companies, I've been headhunted in different companies, and those are big MNCs. And those colleagues who had been working with me previously, I think they saw the way I work, the work ethics, to them. And I also maintain the same. Actually, let's say today you are my ex-colleague, Jia, I would tell you that, Jia, actually, Jaslyn hasn't changed. I'm just changing a domain of work. My Jaslyn herself and the brain and how she functions, her strategic planning skills hasn't changed. But I'm just guiding you instead of a compensation and benefits area, I'm guiding you from financial planning perspective.
That is a very good way to frame. It's a very good way to frame. Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I told myself, because you can imagine when I first started, right? I remember the induction I was in. why it triggered me to work extra hard. Maybe I can share this very short story because when in the induction that I was in the June batch 2017, it was all the undergraduates. And when you look at them, I think I can be maybe their sister 10 plus years and more. So they're 21, 22, 23, etc. So when everybody shared their age, right? I say I'm 33, mother of two. Then everybody, like, it made me feel that, it dawned on me that, am I too late for the business? And between me and them, there's more than 10 years gap. I don't have that 10 years to, start all over again. Yes, I'm starting all over again, but I got to make it up.
Yep.
So what I did, I told myself, what can I control? I cannot control the time that has gone past 10 years or more, the difference between us. But I can control my hard work. So that's the reason why I started to wake up at 5.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 a.m. in the morning to read product packs. When I first started, I can keep reading product packs. And I told myself, as someone in 30 plus, if I were to talk to myself, someone like myself, who are my colleagues, for example, can I go to them with so many pages of product illustration running through? It gets a bit, hard. Like you get lost in the, but how can I help them to understand better? But in order for me to do that, I have to be a teacher.
Yep.
And in order to be a teacher, you got to master everything at your fingertips. That's why I wake up at 5 to read product packs. I wake up at 5 to run because I know mentally I can cope. But knowing where my corporate experience, my body got burned out first. I know I got to, work both in tandem. My body has to be fit enough to to undertake that stress.
Understand.
That's why I started to run at 5 a.m. and
every day.
I think twice a week or 3 times a week.
Okay.
And that's why after that I wrote an article what happened at 5 a.m. Daily. When I wake up 5 a.m. daily for 3 months, and that habit technically lasted I think more than 2 years. Yeah, sometimes I wake up at 4 a.m. before the kids go to school. I have that golden period of time to do what I had to catch up. If not, I don't think I can ever get back, into speed and, beat that learning curve. I got to accelerate that learning curve very, very steep already.
I can see where this is going because you were in a room full of young people, all right? And then the kind of stares that they give you is like, wow, really? Like 10 years, my sister, and you are here, and then you were thinking like, am I too late? And so you wanted to play the catch up, and that was the motivation for you to wake up at 5 a.m. because you wanted to catch up, right?
Yes.
You have 10 years less than them, so you wanted to catch up. That was that burning fire behind. Yeah, wow.
Yes.
That was your alarm clock actually.
And your body my body actually auto wake up, at that point, like 4:50 plus, then my body will auto wake up.
Your cells are all aligned, for you to play the catch up game. So
yes.
they wake you up when the clock turns.
Correct, because I also noticed that some people who join this business, they may not be working 12 hours. They could be working 8 hours, 5 hours, or 6 hours. The only thing I can really control, because we all have limited 24 hours a day, God is very fair, life is very fair. But how do I make use of that 24 hours to optimize every single minute? And all my time in terms of minute is accounted for. Every single minute I'm onto something. And that something actually cumulatively, I felt that, it's little things that stack up eventually that created a greater impact in terms of the results and whatever production. It was a lot of hours behind the scene that people couldn't really see.
Of course.
But I actually started to post more of that on social media because I know a lot of advisors were following me, and I wanted to build them in the right habit, because some people would come to me, Jaslyn, how do I become, do as good as you? I would tell them that actually there's no secret. You just follow my Insta story, you see what I do, right? And then 你照抄就好了。Just 照抄 you work that kind of hours 你一定成功的。除非你做的是不对的东西 okay, but we don't get into that. But if you consistently do the right thing, you put in that kind of work ethics and hours, for sure you would succeed at some place one. Yes.
Okay. Understand. Oh, talking about social media, like I want to ask you, like how do you know that you have to get into social media when you were, am I right to say when you were global HR director, you did not really use much of social media? Only LinkedIn, I would assume. Not so much of Facebook, Instagram?
Right. So in terms of professional, I think I had a head start because as a HR person, my LinkedIn back then was already an A-style profile because I'm always on there. In order to be headhunted, right? You got to be visible. And that's what I learned, throughout the years. And my LinkedIn was actually, already all primed up, all prepared. It was opening up other platforms, for example, Facebook. And it has always been a private account. And as HR people, I think for corporate professionals also, back then we tend to be a bit, we want to hide behind the scene. Because you don't want employees to start following you, or you want your boss to know, off day where you go, how come today you appear so tired, whatever. You get me? So we are very private. But that switch was turned on. Also thankful to my induction mates who are the young 20s, right? Because I remember, and I share this story a lot because it hurt me, man.
Why?
Because in the induction, we're taking photos and I didn't have active Instagram account. So they say, hey, Auntie Jaslyn. They call me Auntie, huh? Wow, for the first time, I'm gonna call Auntie. Okay, by this young 20. And if you're watching this and you're one of them, it's okay. Auntie is fine.
You are forgiven.
No, but I'm thankful to you because you open up my mind way before other people did. And for that, I'm really thankful. They say, hey, Auntie Jaslyn, nowadays we take photo, we don't send through WhatsApp. You must have Instagram account. If you don't have Instagram, I'm not going to send it to you. Well, then I was like, So on top of my age being so far away from them, in terms of technology, I'm also far. In terms of social media, 我更远. So all these things, when they power, I think that induction, right, it's not about just learning product. It's about me. Suddenly, I plant myself in this group of young people, and I realized, if 我不变, right, 我真的很惨. How am I going to survive in this this new environment? Because vis-a-vis in the HR landscape, when I go for HR seminars and conference, I'm always the youngest leader. So you can see the 对比, right? 真的是
Wow.
I think it kind of like, I went back home, I kept reflecting. Okay, so young people are now on Instagram.
Wow.
What is it that I can do to catch up?
Do you have Instagram back then?
I had, but it wasn't active.
Okay.
I think I only had one posting on Claire. One posting, that's it.
Okay.
And I don't use it.
Understand.
As HR, we don't use it, right?
Yep.
Then I asked myself, on the flip side, what is it that Jaslyn has, Auntie Jaslyn has, perhaps, that I can actually have an advantage over other people? I thought back, it'll be LinkedIn. And then I went to see on LinkedIn, back then in 2017, I realized not many advisors, in fact, rare and few are on LinkedIn. Then I asked myself, okay, 你懂危机吗？危机就是一个 opportunity. I saw that as an opportunity. Okay, now if everybody's on IG, I got to go the other way. I always saw, I think my philosophy is 人家走过的路我不要走. It's an 80-20 approach. If given a track where people has trotted on, and then you go, I want to take the other one that has a lot of greens and 没有人走过, and I want to go there. I know it may be dangerous, it may be risky, and nobody knows the unknown, but I rather go into the unknown than the known world. And then there's no point that you fight with them.
Trailblaze something for yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was that kind of mentality that really got me very different. Perhaps people saw me very different from other advisors, including my boss. When I first stepped into the industry, I think he gave some advice, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I did tell my boss, Joen, that I say, I would be very compliant, ethical. This one, you have no problem because I'm HR. HR, we are trained to be, we have high integrity, we have ethics, right? But don't question me on the things I'm going to do. If I come in, I'm going to do what 80% of people do, I will not succeed. I need to be doing what 1% of people are going to do.
Okay.
Or what, rather, on the flip side, what 99% of people are not willing to do.
Where do you get this philosophy from?
Wow.
Yeah,
Very good
this is
question.
something most people will just follow, most people.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that right at the onset, you know that you need to do something different. And you're so clear with that. Where do you get
Because
this?
I burned bridges already. So something that I can share as a context, right? Before I joined the advisory business, I had signed on to be a global HR director. And that offer was on the table waiting for me. that role, the hiring manager, the direct CHRO was waiting for me close to a year. And I backed out. And this was something that I would never do if I was still in HR, because, signing a contract and accepting a role and then only to give up at the very last minute is not right. I still feel bad about it. But when I compare my situation, with Claire's impending heart condition, my asthma relapse after 20 years, I ask myself, how long can I tong in that role before I give in and throw the towel? I rather tell you now before I embark on the role.
Yep.
So when you have burned all the bridges, you have nowhere to go. You are just like a small boat in the river, just in the ocean trying to survive. And your only goal is you cannot stop. You must reach the destination. So it was, in Chinese, they 破釜沉舟，真的是破釜沉，我没有退路了。And people say, oh, we must plan in case we fail. I say I cannot even fail.
Yeah.
I really have no turning back, because when my ex-HR colleagues ask me, you sure, Jaslyn, you sure you're not just burnt out? You going to be insurance agent? Ni okay ma?
有没有吃错药？
Short of saying that lah, okay. Then I say, what if you fail? What? I think at that point 我还没有进来 right? 哇，我的火气是起来。我说，我不会 fail 的。我要出去，我一定会成功的回来。I don't even have an opportunity to fail. I cannot think about. People say if don't have plan A, we do plan B. I don't have plan B. I only have plan A.
It's not even an option for you,
Yes, I must survive.
Yeah. Wow, I'm not sure what if you all caught what Jaslyn just mentioned. It was a lot of I think it was a lot of burning why behind everything you do, and burning, you sort of burn your bridge, and you cannot allow yourself to fail. That's why you have to just forge forward and do everything it takes for you to get there. That's why your cells wake you up at 5 a.m. automatically without the alarm clock. It was all geared towards I must succeed, and other options are not. There's no other options but to succeed. So I want to ask you, like wow, that's incredible story. I want to ask you, why do you work so hard for? Like, okay, now that you have like achieved a certain level of achievement in this business, very very accomplished already, I would say, for a short 6 years span in this business. So why are you still working so hard for? What's your end vision or end goal for yourself? Do you have something like that?
Oh, that's a very good question. I've been asking myself recently as well.
What do you want to build? What legacy do you want to leave behind? What are you working so hard for?
I think at the end of the day, now that I'm a leader, I lead a team of 5 very amazing ladies. I feel that on one end, I want to build a boutique agency where we have very top quality, elite kind of financial advisors out there.
What's the definition of boutique?
Boutique means that don't need to be like 20. And given my personality and nature, I can't be tied down. I'm very scared of having my time being controlled by others. I'm a bit micro in that sense. Like, I need to control my own time. So my boutique probably maybe about 10. I think 10, 12, yeah. But they are very, very resourceful, very dependable, and they work hard not for the agency, not for anybody, but for themselves and their clients and their family. The why must be there.
Yep.
So if I can build a team of, all these people, and they go all way out to protect the people out there, I feel that, I've done a pretty good job, because there's no way I can do so many things. But if I can, technically train them and multiply that kind of, amplify that effort, I feel that really the world goes into a better place. And even for myself, I ask myself, why am I working so hard now that, I have achieved certain level of accolades and all that? But at the end of the day, I think what makes me really grounded is I still see customers. I still see new customers. And some prospects that I see, they can be maybe in their early 20s. They can be in their 30s as parents. They can be C-suite people. And you realize that the more I talk to them, right, the more I realize that a lot of people don't know about financial planning per se. I think financial planning is a very overly used word, be it insurance, financial planning. But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure that they really optimize their finance resources to build a better life and build stronger legacy for their children, and make sure that the moment if they are sick, they don't need to go on they don't need to rely on other people, but they are self-reliant. I feel that in today's world, maybe to me, it's my own value. I have to be very self-reliant. That's why if you want to offer to help me hold, I don't want. I think it's a value like 我会很搞味.
Okay.
So it's my own value that 我要 self-sufficient.
Understand.
Like I don't want to depend on other people. And if I can actually proliferate this kind of thought and awareness to other people, I feel that, then because of me and my team's effort or all the good advisors out there, the world really becomes a better place, because I think the more people feel that they know, the more maybe they don't really know.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely have met customers like, I do my own investments, I have this kind of plan is enough. But when you dig deeper, actually what you have is maybe not adequate. Even if you have the coverage, but there is always a shortfall. And how can I do to help them understand this? And I see this as a mission and a purpose already.
Understand.
Yeah, beyond financial rewards. Of course, financial rewards, and also happy, to be honest. I can share a story. Like this morning, I walked into the lift at 7. I was in my gym gear. My PT, starts at 7:30. Then inside the lift, it stopped 5 times. There were children, there were parents, there were different employees coming in, stepping inside, about to go to work. Then you see their face, I think I was the only one smiling inside. I was like, shit. There's no Monday blue. Today is Monday. There's no Monday blue. Then 他们的脸是 very shy. Another day. Then I was like, it dawned on me that it was an epiphany. Like, I think I'm in the right career. Like, and you see my team. If y'all follow our team social media, my team ladies are all fitness guru one. Like they really go to the gym. They help. They have a lot of self-care. They do their good job.
Wow.
And they look younger than their real age. So I felt that
I can testify to that because I met a few of them. Yeah. So in person. So yes, I can testify to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this career that I think a lot of people don't say enough, and they think that we are just insurance agent. But we are. I would say that we have a very strong conviction and a purpose out there if we do the right thing by guiding people. And I'm very proud of my team because they have been doing that for their customers, and the customers keep referring people to them. I think it's a good cycle.
Correct. When you do right by people, people refer. People buy, people refer, people stay long term, your business becomes automatically sustainable.
Exactly.
Yeah, so so I don't know what else to say. It's as simple as that. I want to ask you, I want to ask you later on how you bring those people in, what are your criteria and filters. As a leader, I think we have to have our own internal criteria to bring people in, all right, to craft the ideal team that we want to manage or we want to lead, not manage. But it just suddenly dawned upon me that I forgot to ask you, like you said that financial advisor said, hey, Auntie Jaslyn, all right? And then it reminded you that, wow, shit, I only have one post on Instagram. But now I can see that your Instagram is like, wow, you don't belong to the category of the folks who are not using social media. You are very active on social media. You are posting almost every single day, Insta stories, updating about your life in all areas. How do you even jump from one post to now keeping up so actively with the rest of us who are in Gen Y, for example?
I think that's a very, very good question. It was like one spectrum to swinging me, to the other spectrum. Yes, to the other is like, I think it starts from thinking big. And I wanted to answer your question, going back, which is related. What got me into all this philosophy and all that? I think I can recommend this very good book, Thinking Big. Think Big. The magic of thinking big. Yeah. And I always recommend, because I read this just before I started the advisory business.
Was the first time you reading that book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was recommended through NLP course. I don't know, but perhaps stars will align, and then I think I needed that kind of reinforcement. And I realized that a lot of the self-driven motivation cannot come from other people anymore. It has to come from myself. I cannot expect my boss to be telling me, Jaslyn, don't worry, you can have faith. I cannot have that. I need to tell myself, I need to be sold and convinced by myself that I can do it before I can reach out to other people. Because you can imagine coming in at 33, knowing nothing about the business. I never did sales in my entire life. switching to the other. So it was that kind of mindset. So what I did was replicating that kind of same mindset into social media. I asked myself, other than, okay, my IG may not be so up to date, what else can I do? Then I realized over time, and I think this is attested, I'm sure, by many people, whatever we do something, right, we can all start off, wow, very rah-rah. Just like this morning, I asked my gym instructor, hey, how come this morning there's so many people? He said, oh, this is a January or February effect. Then people start coming strong, right? Then after that, he said, slowly, the people will stop coming.
It's true,
He told me lah, for gym. Yes, I said, how come there's so many people? He said, oh, I think, Jaslyn, this is like the, beginning of the year effect. Then after that, people will stop coming. And this goes back to the word consistency. And that's why I want to bring this word back, consistency. I realized that if I cannot beat people in other talents, I may not have special talents, but I think I can win a lot of people in what we say consistency. I just tell myself, consistency is just about hard work, ma. You just repeat and repeat. And this is what I do in corporate life. And you have to go to office and then do what you need to do, read emails. Then it's the same effort. Okay, I just repeat. And if people don't see me enough and think that I'm not good enough, so never mind, I start from scratch. I just have to be consistent and make myself top of mind, that people go in to any social media front, you'll see my posting. It's all about, and I've seen that over the years, right, perhaps people can start off doing good in certain things, for example, LinkedIn postings or IG, but you probably I find it hard to probably, outlast me. Or rather, I can do the same every day. It's just like eating and drinking, having my meal. I just do it every day. And that itself, I think, has helped me a lot in putting myself out there on the social media front. And I realized that in today's world, it's very different from 10, 20 years ago where people don't have social media, right? But now on social media, people won't like, and I'm sure advisors will agree, sometimes people read your content and didn't like, but when you come out from having meals or catching up with them, hey, Jia, wow, I saw that you did this, then you go and record, hey, that day only 3 likes, what? You weren't inside, right?
Correct.
How come you read about it? But people have this reluctance to just press a like. Maybe they don't want to be identified or associated with us, which is fine.
But they're watching.
They are watching, yes. And time and tested, it's been proven that people watch. It's just that they as this like reluctance or comment reluctance. And I tell myself it's okay as long as I put myself out there. I share the relevant information on social media. And on Instagram, to be honest, 99% are advisors. And I ask myself, is there any ROI for me to put out there? And and my coach will ask me, hey, Jaslyn, you need to, at one point I was focusing too much on Instagram and was neglecting a platform where my prospects would come from, which is i.e. LinkedIn. So I got reminded, okay, yes, I asked myself, should I stop posting on IG and focus more on LinkedIn? But I realized at the end of the day, it's a calling. It's a calling for me to be out there and guide more advisors, if I can, to influence them to do the right thing. And by posting, only then, without me saying out loud or putting in extra, it's just about posting one day, one posting a day, or Insta story, right? Then I realized that actually it did help people, because over time there'll be different advisors texting me, hey Jaslyn, thanks for sharing this, or your children are so inspiring, or how you instill the right values in your children, actually help them to overcome certain challenges or whatever. Then on the flip side, I will also dedicate time to do LinkedIn postings. So that's how I compartmentalize my time, but it has to be congruent with my own value.
Of course.
Of
course. It's I think Benjamin Low once said that great personal branding is great personal being first, right? So big shout out to Ben Low for this, right? And I think I can see that through your social media posts, right? You are just your personal being is just amplified on a social media platform. Right, and I want to ask you, what's your current standard? Like, what's the pace that you give yourself or set for yourself to post on social media? Is there such a pace, or it's like that you have to be consistent, so you will get even uneasy if you don't post 1 or 2 days with a gap of 1 or 2 days?
I will get nagged
Oh.
by my coach. Jaslyn, you're not doing this enough. Okay. So I feel that is the beauty of having a coach really to pace us. Because sometimes we are so mired in firefighting that we lose track about the more important things. Not urgent, but important.
But not urgent,
yes. And I credit Benjamin Low, my coach, for always, bring me back to ground. Okay, no, Jaslyn, you have not been posting, and this is how, you can think about planning your post in certain way. And my postings on the frequency level, 3 to 4 LinkedIn posts a week.
Okay.
And then on IG story is probably every day, but every day is not always about financial planning, but it's about me and my children. And I think that gets me closer to a lot of people before they see me. Or sometimes they see my children like 没有见过面，那个是你孩子 right? Yeah, 对。So
correct.
I think my children are growing up in this kind of era, and I ask myself, is it fair for me to put them out there, on social media, because we are also conscious about, is it putting them? But my children are now very savvy in the sense I also want to tell them, 如果我 restrict 太多, end up when they get exposed, that's when, they may not be able to control. But I want to guide them through my own handling and managing of accounts. I want to tell them, okay, be careful about this kind of people at you and then don't know who is it. So this is what mommy does. I will hide my story, I will block, etc. So 以身作则, I always believe in walking the talk, because there's no way we can teach children or even teach advisors without us doing it. That is my own very, very strong value. Whatever I want my FCs to learn, or whatever I want my kids to be instilled with, I need to do it and be a role model to them. If I am a role model, I think 我不会走错路. And that holds me very, very strongly rooted into the ground, no matter what happens. I think about my children and my advisors. What the next action I'm going to take, how would it affect them? How would they see me? And is that the right thing that I would do? Would I be able to sleep well at night?
Yep.
So I think these are the things that hold me very, very strong and convicted. And 不会行差踏错, 你懂吗?
I understand. I think that's a beautiful segue towards your philosophy as a leader, okay, and how you bring these people in, how you handpick these people in, because I've personally met a few of Jaslyn's advisors, and I can sense that they are individuals that are self-motivated, self-driven. They like what Jaslyn mentioned, they run just because. It's just because. There's no other reason. It's just because. It's them being them. They're not running. Of course, they're also running for the team, but it's predominantly running for themselves. Just because I want to do better. I want to excel. And out of a team of 5, there is 3 MDRTs. Jaslyn herself is TOT. So how do you what's your leadership style, and how do you handpick these advisors?
I think my leadership style, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, is walk the talk. I believe in walking the talk, because if I haven't done it myself, there's no way I would impose the kind of standards on my financial advisors. I think it's not fair to them. If I've not done it, then I cannot expect that. It's the same thing. How I see my leadership skills is just like parenting. I think parenting has helped me a lot in leadership, because vis-a-vis is always the same. Like, you have to talk to children. Sometimes they're stubborn, and they're stubborn. You just have to go the other way, sideways story, to try to help them see, maybe there's another way of doing this. Instead of, 你错了, you cannot do this. Children won't like it. Same thing for adult. You point at people, all the 4 fingers point back at us, right? But if I can tell them stories, actually, yes, you could do this, but have you thought about the other possibility, and what's the repercussion? That's how I talk to my children. And the same philosophy applies to my financial advisors also. That's one. And then how do I handpick my advisors? I think many of them are actually introduced by my own sister. My own sister is in my team. She was the newly minted MDRT first year qualifier. And she is a COI. So she actually introduced her friends to me. One of them, my top producer, was her ex-colleague. And then subsequently, 4 years later, my sister joined me. My sister joined me in 2021. I joined the business in 2017, right? Yeah. So 4 years later, she joined me.
So brought in someone else first.
Yes. Before, she brought in a few people. Then she joined in. I think at the beginning, maybe she was skeptical. And she herself, when we asked her,
Hi.
Are you looking for your...
Manifested this event.
so cute.
Yes,
Still
you sleep
waiting.
already. You want to say hi to the camera?
Oh, yeah.
The
So
sister brought in. Yeah.
brought in them, and then I think when I do my recruitment, right, it actually largely depends on a few things. I must look for a few traits. And these traits, I learned it from Uncle Michael Xiao. I want to really credit him because he reminded me time and again. With a veteran, like 30, 40 years of experience, I'm sure if I take his advice, I don't need to walk so many, wow, 冤枉路，不要，我要走捷径。我是那种 I want efficient shortcut to the right place. So he told me, Jaslyn, I look for a person with PhD. Then I said, Uncle Michael, PhD ah? He said, no, not the kind of study PhD, academic PhD, but P stands for poor, H stands for hungry, D stands for driven, PhD. When we say poor, it doesn't mean that, must be in shambles or whatever, but that kind of desire that you want to succeed. PhD is very, very, you're hungry, you do anything that is, okay, of course, having said that, fundamentally right thing lah, but you do anything you need to get things done. And then driven. I always believe that the why, the driven, the driven factor, it cannot come from other people. Hey, Jia got to work lah, lai office, what time you come to office.
Yep.
No, you have to come from inside.
Yep.
And it has to be because you need it more than us. Not, and as a leader, I always tell my advisors out there that, or people out there, me as a mentor or a leader, whichever we call it, I am a GPS. You are the driver of the car. You own the steering wheel. You are the driver. Whether you accelerate, you stop, it's you. Me as a GPS, as a mentor, I can bring you to your destination and goal in the shortest and most efficient way. But I cannot help it when you press on the stop pedal and you don't move. You don't move, how do I help? I am a facilitator, but I cannot help you to do the things you need to do. You have to own the steering wheel. You have to own that ownership to get yourself there. Your desire must be there. So the PhD, and I want to add in one more word, are resourcefulness. I look for resourcefulness in any candidate that I talk to.
Yep. I remember you once said at the Plaza Sing when we first met, that there's no, how do you coach when they're not moving? Right? If they're not moving, there won't be a need to do coaching, because coaching only comes when a person moves and encounters challenges and obstacles, and then that's where you advise, right? Like if you don't move, then coaching is not very helpful, like, right?
Yeah,
so
I think they're very brutal.
I remember that one very, very, which yes, brutal it might sound like, but I think it's very, very true. I think it's very, very true. And okay, so now that you laid out the PhDR, how do you find PhDR? How do you what kind of questions do you ask? What kind of profile do you look for? What kind of tests do you do, etc.?
Okay, I think very, very valid and very good question. So, of course, you want to I won't say interview, but through normal conversations like what we have, you cannot kind of suss out. You ask about open-ended questions and all, but I'm HR myself. I've been through.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
No, what I wanted to say was the not technically, right. But as HR, I've been through so many interviews, and I can proudly say that out of 10 interviews that I go to, 8 or 9 will give me a job. It's about how we fluff. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the real brutal truth. It's how we fluff in the interview that gets us the chance to go into the job, and then we deliver what it needs to be done. Whether you can really do the job, you won't know, correct? You won't know until the person...
I think both parties won't know, actually.
Exactly, but the way, if the person is able to communicate in a way that makes you feel that, hey, this person... So I'm mindful of this trap myself, because I've been through myself. So I wouldn't want to suss out from an interview per se, but in if I have any opportunities, I will get the candidate to join us for activities. I will get them to join our social events. It's through personal observation. And personal observation wouldn't come from myself, but it will come from my team members. Because in order for us to stay closely knitted, culture is very, very strong. There are certain things that we look at. There are certain things that we do not want.
Yep.
And I would listen to, what, I say, hey, how Mabel, for example, or JD and I, hey, what do you think about this person? When you talk to a person, because 你很难去演 in all 24/7 circumstance. But in that interview, you know consciously, in an interview, you will say the things, oh yes, I like this, I like that. So I would through this, and then finally, we will do an anagram test. I'm a strong believer of anagram. Certain profiles, I would definitely, highly focus on. Certain profiles, I'll think about it, okay, it's not the person is not good, but the person, in order to come into the agency and work well with us, I think the person also has to take, my character. My character can be very strong. Yeah, I can be upfront and say I'm a type 8. Type 8 leaders, we can say things really right in the face, not because we don't care, it's because we care too much. And I don't want to sugarcoat. And I want the best for you. So some people, okay, maybe certain type cannot take it. So I'm very mindful of that. Yes. And that kind of sums up the whole process of recruitment and selection. Of course, the person has to come in and feel that is welcome. And the people that come in are primarily our own clients. We convert our own clients and also from our ex-colleagues or, for example, good friends.
Understand. Wow. Okay, I think that really sums up your recruitment process. Can I just add on a few more questions? How many times would you meet the person for an interview before you bring them to a social event or team event where you can observe them? Like, is there a specific number of times? Because Augustine once told us in the interview he would see the person at least 3 times. Yeah, that is his magic number. Of course, he has other things for that candidate to do before he finally brings him in, but he'll at least see him for 3 times.
Right.
Like, do you have that number?
I don't have a magic number. I don't have a magic number per se, but let's say if it's a referral or from someone's friend, I kind of know the person who introduced would kind of tell me the person's character and what the person used to do, for example. Then we'll have a first level of recruitment interview first, kind of. And then after that, I would look at qualitatively the responses. Yeah. And then maybe then we'll come out to catch up again.
This is a very HR phrase. Qualitatively.
Yeah, qualitative.
Actually, I don't know what.
Qualitative means that the answers that you give. For example, do you like financial planning, or what do you think about this? Kind is like very open-ended. Qualitatively means that open-ended. Hey, what was the biggest obstacle that you overcome?
Okay.
I want to know. I want to know how. Then this links back to your resilience.
Yep.
And
correct.
What was the greatest conflict you had with your colleagues? How how was it managed? How was it resolved? This shows your interpersonal skills, whether you high EQ or not.
Correct.
So all these answers I'm looking for, but I would say it still can be fake to a very, very huge extent. So it's also this kind of social setting. Maybe if you ask me 2 or 3 times, there was once I brought a candidate into our event when we had the MDRT the MDRT Day, and then we were supposed to do MDRT declaration, and the person haven't even joined us, but the person was like, you can see the determination to succeed, and therefore she's doing well in this career today.
Okay.
So all these things adds up.
Understand. Okay. I think that's a brilliant sum up of your recruitment process. I think everyone should have a very good idea on how you do it. I personally learn a lot from you. All right, from this process. I want to ask you one last question before we go. Right. What is the biggest challenge right now that you are facing? Challenge or challenges?
I think even for me, right, recruitment and prospecting is the bloodline. And for me, I also face challenges, constantly trying to prospect people, constantly trying to recruit people. And that kind of make me feel that, I'm still very grounded. But so I think the good thing about all these challenges is I always kind of reframe them and tell myself, all these are things that to show that, if we have problems, you are alive. I don't know. I think I see things in a very life and death manner, because I feel that as long as we are alive, there's a chance we can always improve it. So prospecting and recruitment, to me, at this point, is maybe the greatest challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To continue to keep up with to build the agency up.
Understand? Okay, prospecting and recruitment.
Very standard, yes.
Very
I
okay.
have the same challenges as everybody.
As many people. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the last segment because that was the last question. I'm gonna move on to the last segment. This last segment will help us understand better about what Jaslyn likes or this.
Can I take a
Yeah, okay,
okay.
okay. Last segment already. Come
Okay.
on. Okay, so this last segment is called speed round. So speed round would be I'll give you two options, you choose one. Okay, don't take too long to choose
Okay.
because it's called speed round 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so intuitively just pick one option. There are I have, let me see, I have 12 questions.
Right.
Okay, so after these 12 questions, which will be answered in about 30 seconds, we'll get to know Jaslyn a lot more. Okay, so Jaslyn, come. Okay, the first question, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay, Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Mercedes or BMW?
Mers.
Pokemon or Digimon?
Neither.
Neither.
I don't know.
You don't...
I don't play games.
Auntie Jaslyn, McDonald's or KFC?
Mac.
Okay, traditional watch or smartwatch?
Smart.
Okay, Apple or Android?
Apple.
Physical books or ebooks?
Physical.
City or nature? City or nature?
City or nature?
You like city or you like nature?
City lah.
City, okay. Still or sparkling?
Still.
Still. Sunshine or scrambled egg?
Huh?
Sunshine egg or just nice.
Wait,
my
let me
helper is
think
cooking.
the
Sunshine egg
calories.
or
Okay,
what calorie? What?
Sunshine.
Sunshine,
Can
okay.
remove the egg yolk.
Last one. Black or white? You like white. Thank you, Jaslyn. So there we go. We have Jaslyn for the past 1 hour or so. We unfortunately we have some technical boo boo. We need to use a fork
It's okay.
but it's cute. I think
Fun of
it
it,
is
what?
cute. I think it is out of these 10 episodes I'm doing, this is the first time I'm doing, and I think it will make a very good story on social media. I'm gonna write this story and
Very
tag you,
special. Yes.
collaborate with you. So there you go. This is the Advisor Show episode 10, and we have Jaslyn Ng. We'll see you in the next episode very soon. Bye.